Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to Midwest Whitetail After Hours, presented by Hoyt Archery. I'm your host, Jason Science. Today's September 29th, and tonight I'm joined by Jared, Max, Mike, Owen, and also Grant somewhere. How's it going tonight, guys?
Good. How are you?
Well,
Doing good. Hey, Jared, before we start things off for the year, this is kind of a big deal. You guys have been talking about this for quite a while. Would you just sort of give us a 50,000 foot view, if you will, of what's going to take place over the next few months here, and what we hope to accomplish by bringing our listeners this podcast?
Yeah, this is episode number one, the very first Midwest Whitetail podcast, and we're excited about it. And like you mentioned, Jason, we've been talking about it for a while. It's just been focused on other things, but we're finally making time to make this happen, and we're excited about it. And we didn't want to do a podcast just to do a podcast. We wanted to come up with somewhat of a unique concept, and I think we got that with this one. You know, the main goal for this podcast throughout the season is to have this kind of deer camp feel to it. So, all of us are out in the field hunting in remote locations, and we come back, convene right after the hunt and talk about how it went, talk about what we saw, talk about how our stories are progressing, just real instant information, near real time, right after the hunt. The podcast itself will be somewhat short and digestible for viewers. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I know I'm excited to be able to get on the call, after the hunt and hear how everyone did and what people saw. And I think viewers throughout the country will be able to kind of match up with that, what the action is, what we're seeing with what they're seeing when deer start chasing or whatever it is, be able to kind of apply what we're seeing in real time to their own hunt. So be a really cool concept. We're excited to see how it goes, but yeah, this is episode number one. We're excited to kick it off.
Well, speaking of kicking it off, you guys kick it off. All of you, I think, are in Iowa, right? So you guys kick it off Friday. Owen, what have you got planned?
I don't know that I'm going to hunt until probably Sunday. So don't remember ever being this far behind or feeling like I'm this far behind. Usually I've had cameras out probably for 2 months at this point. I'm still deploying cameras. I've got maybe a third to a half of them out. So that's kind of how my year's gone so far.
I think a lot of us, for some reason, are in that same boat. I still don't feel like I'm ready. I can't believe it's almost October.
Yep, it's crazy.
Well, Mike's ready.
Ready to sit in a tree. May not be ready to actually shoot one, but ready to sit in a tree, that's for sure.
Like you got a 20-yard pin, son. You're ready to go.
That's right. Yeah.
So as you guys look to the year ahead, what is it that you're going to start off doing? Where are you going to be hunting? If each one of you can take a turn and give us an idea of what your tactic's going to be to start out the season here this weekend. And then obviously with the upcoming cold front that's going to be here Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah, that's exciting. I'm anxious to see how this October plays out. Last year, October was just on fire with the amount of cold fronts and everything we had. So hopefully we can get a repeat of that. Our team had such a strong October last year, but for me this time of year, it's just, a lot of monitoring trail cameras, a lot of doe management early, just kind of getting back into the swing of things. And I have quite a few bucks that have not shown up yet. So I'm really staying pretty fluid as far as what my targets are and what my game plan is until hopefully some of those deer show back up. I mean, they can't all be dead, right? So hopefully they'll be here in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, I'm similar. I mean, obviously Jared and I share a farm. We're missing quite a few bucks, and there's kind of a weather drop or temperature drop here coming for this weekend. Right now we're 88 today. We're 80 something tomorrow. Friday is actually going to be high in the 70s. So I may try to get out even Friday, Saturday, Sunday, do some doe management. Unless I get something on a good pattern, I'm not going to necessarily be hunting one of the main bucks. But on the home farm, I'm chasing this deer we can name Chubbs. He's a big deer. He was actually on camera last night at 3:30 in the morning, not too far away from the cherry tree. And so I'm kind of it's at least a few weeks after he shed. And so I think he's in the area enough with, fall ranges being shifted over that hopefully when we hit some of these weather fronts, I can catch him on his feet. So early next week, definitely be excited to be out and where I think I can catch him, which is that cherry tree set.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat with you guys. I'm still kind of building that hit list. So I don't really have a clear cut favorite as far as a deer I really want to go after. So it's more doe management and just wanting to get out and have a couple of sits and just get back into the swing of things, I think, more so than really going after particular bucks.
Those first couple of hunts are always a first date. Just getting all your stuff lined up. I know, we opened here 2 weeks ago and it was it was a mess the first time. It looked like I had a garage sale going below the tree.
All right, man. I'm glad we got a chance to early hunt in Kentucky and work out those kinks, hopefully, and not want to do them again. But I remember telling the guys that there's no way we'll ever have a smooth opening day hunt. We'll forget multiple things for sure. Something will go wrong on the walk in. I mean, it's like clockwork every year. First hunt.
Yeah, Grant and I got in that urban zone hunt in our local area, and so been in the woods the Monday after youth season was my first sit out. By the time I hung the cameraman stand and had one of the interns get up in there, all I could say was, "I'm sorry, you've been down there. You should have taken a nap or something." It was a first hanging hunt of the year. I mean, he doesn't know how I like the knot tied. It just unbelievable straps missing. But last year opening day, I forgot my bow in the truck, so I was ahead of the curve this year. I did have my bow in the tree. So,
That's improvement.
Well, one quick question that I wanted to ask you guys. We're all monitoring trail cameras, right? And I wondered if you guys, as we came into tonight, one of the things that I had written down that I wanted to ask all of you is in the last, say, 5 to 10 days, have you seen a pretty significant shift in terms of the bucks that you've got either coming or not showing up anymore?
yeah, we have for sure.
Yeah, so how our farm lays out, I guess our main farm that we have permission on, we had this deer that we call Eddie. That's going to be our main target this year. He summers on the north side of our farm, and the way we hunt them, it's usually easier to hunt them on the south side. There's just more trees to hunt them out of, and you can hunt them on better winds. And he has finally ventured to the south side, so we're excited about that. There's also another pretty good deer that's also ventured down to the south side too. So we're definitely going to be focusing on that area of the farm, and we're excited to see him on that side.
It seems like even the doe activity, it could just be that last few days of weather we had last weekend, but just seems like, I mean, even more does are showing up than they have been, more of the smaller bucks killing these scrapes. The past week, I mean, went from scrapes not open, not touched to we're running 10 cameras on that specific cutting link system. And I mean, I wake up to 100 or more pictures. It's insane the past even 7 days, what's going on, at least in our villages.
So
Yeah,
you've seen an uptick sort of in
Absolutely. We got 2 new deer that are 4 years and older have shown up in the last 10 days, and them and the other even younger bucks are just killing scrapes. Does are moving. They're moving later into the mornings and earlier in the afternoons, which I wouldn't think would be the case these last few days with the weather. But I think we got some crops coming out within a few mile radius of us too, right here. So I don't know if that's got them up shifting. I know I've seen my first couple cornfields cut and some deer out in them.
Yeah, I'm starting to see an uptick in the scraping. I mean, we set out mock scrapes a couple of weeks ago, and some of those cameras have been pretty dead. But these probably last 3 or 4 nights. I've had a couple of new bucks show up. Some of these mature bucks that I've had a lot of history with are hitting the scrapes. It might be in the middle of the night, but they're starting to increase some of that activity, which is exciting to see. I'm hoping some of the bucks we're looking for start showing up, in that with that setting occurring. So.
It'll be interesting too, like Max alluded to, a lot of crops coming out and earlier than normal, at least in our area. So it'll be interesting to see how that factors into the October hunting. Oh, and what's it like in down your area? You pretty early harvest down there too?
Yeah, they're getting my crops out as we speak. There's not a lot going on around me, but my farm has always been a little bit different. I was talking with Caleb about the distance that some of his bucks travel and all the deer he gains as the fall shift hits. And
Yeah.
I don't see that much on my farm, which is a little bit different for most people. I usually hold my bucks year round, which is great, but I just don't gain much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm probably more like Caleb. Is a lot of the properties I hunt just aren't great summer properties, just in terms of the type of cover they have. So I anxiously await the September and October timeframe. Usually the neighbors are getting all the pictures during the summer, which is fine. If I had to pick one, I'll take them this time of year.
Yeah, sure.
So it sounds like all of you pretty much have the same game plan going into the weekend. When that first cold front hits, the first real significant one, I guess, which looks like it's going to be, at least in Wisconsin here, it's going to be Tuesday, I believe, and I think it's probably the same for you. Maybe it's a little earlier. What does that change what you're doing or how you're doing it versus what you do in the weekend? I realize that some of you are going to be pretty laid back about your hunting, especially in that warm weather. What are you going to change when it comes to Tuesday?
Our
What day like Tuesday?
We've got that farm that Grant was talking about. It's kind of our main permission farm. Right this year, the main tillable field is corn. A farmer, we were texting back and forth just a couple of days ago, and he is within the week of picking the corn. So to be honest, I'm thinking if that corn gets out this weekend or early in the week and we've got that cold front, I'm going in. I might sit observation the first night. If I get 2 north winds in a row, I might go the first night and sit observation. But I got a couple of deer that I would shoot they're there, and with that corn coming out to be freshly picked and a cold snap, I may take a crack at it. I mean, if they're picking it this early, I don't know how long before the neighbors start picking. So I feel like I might have all the deer for, even if it's 48 hours. I mean, I think Grant and I have a really good shot at a couple of these deer. If the weather's enough to get them on their feet, we could be in the chips right off the bat if it works out.
Yeah. And I mean, I think in general, and we talk about cold fronts all the time, and it's hard to, understate the freaking cold front value this time of year. Just like with youth season, we had a cold front come through Iowa September 8th or so. Got pictures of this buck that my daughter shot. And the next cold front, we went right back to that food plot. It was out, early in the afternoon on September 8th, and then right again that night at 5:40, this buck steps up and steps out. And so, in my experience, we look back through our trail camera photos, and every year you wonder, why was that mature buck on their feet at 5 o'clock on October 3rd, and it's almost always a cold front. And so as far as if I've got a deer that's in the area that I'm hoping to catch up with early season, I mean, you better believe I'm gonna go make a sit, when that cold front's coming through. So that's the night I'll try to get in that stand in the cherry tree and go up for chubs, or take my chances anyway.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that, Mike. I've learned, through my trail cameras that don't wait to get the daylight pictures. When you get that cold front, just be there.
Yeah, exactly. Know when they happened the year before, then be in there.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Jared, anything that you're going to do that's different than the rest of these folks?
No, I mean, maybe for different reasons, but the same thing. I'm going to dive in when we get those October cold fronts. I mean, they're just too good not to. And for my situation, every farm I hunt, there's also other people that hunt it. So, dealing with other hunters and sharing properties and stuff, that's another reason to not wait too long. You just don't know when that deer's going to be there, if he's going to be there. If you wait till late October, early November or something to hunt him. So I'm gonna take my chances early when we get those cold fronts for sure.
Anybody have anything else they want to follow up with as we get close to our time and ending this first show?
No, I'm excited. Like I said earlier, I think this is going to be a fun format. It's going to be fun getting on here and how everyone's hunts go. We'll also include some other people as we go throughout the season. Some of our regional staff or some of our outside people might even get Winky on here. Just I think it'll be fun. Just kind of a good camaraderie deer camp type of feel to it. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be fun to follow throughout the season.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I agree completely. And some of those hunts where you feel like, what the heck's going on? What are the deer doing? It's nice to sit around and be able to hear what everyone else is seeing. And obviously, one farm might be slow one day, and it's nice to hear that other people are seeing good activity, particularly as that end of October rolls around and those first couple of weeks in November, hearing what everyone's seeing and keeping your focus and keeping you kind of pumped up for it. So I'm looking forward to it, and I appreciate everyone's contribution.
Well, I think that's about it for tonight. We're going to do these shows as often as we feel like we've got content that is going to be of interest to you, and when we can get everybody together. We don't have an exact schedule, right, Jared?
Right. Yeah, we'll just kind of stay in touch, communicate when we're all going to be out in the field, or maybe someone's got a particular beat on a buck, and we're going to want to know right away after the hunt how it went. And those will be nights we can definitely develop a podcast.
Absolutely. And as we go on here, we will drop a link wherever you pick up your podcast content. We should be on all those major sites. It'll take us a couple of episodes to get on there, but we'll be there for the time being. You can catch the show on the Midwest Whitetail YouTube channel. Anywhere else, Jared?
No, I mean, we'll probably keep adding platforms as we go. Just we want to be everywhere where people can listen to this easily digestible content.
All right. Well, that's all I've got. If anybody else has got anything else, we'll end it here. Going
That's
once.
it. Thanks, guys, and thanks, Jason.
All right, you bet. You guys have a good start to the season, and be safe. Have fun.
All right.
Yeah, good luck to you as well.
Thank you.
Take care.